빛이여! 지금이다! 설마 힘으로 봉인을 깨려는 건가? 이대로 봉인이 깨지게 놔둘 수는 없어. 검은 마법사, 나와 함께 가자.
How's it going, guys? Dan here, and welcome to the first episode of DMP, which stands for Dan's Maple Story Productions. Now, today, for the very first episode, I thought we'd kick it off with the Luminous class. Now, Luminous is coming to GMS in 6 days, so unfortunately I can't get it to 4th job, but we're gonna take a look at the 2nd job skills right now. So, the skill you guys are gonna see me using most in this video, as it plays in the background, is called Pressure Void. Now, what it is, your Luminous has a light side and a dark side. When you use the dark skills, which you gain in 1st job, and you attack with them, you'll get your meter, which you'll see in the top left corner of the screen, or top right, sorry. It will become darker and darker. Now, when that fills, or even, it doesn't have to be full, even just gets to a little bit, you can spawn this, and as you can see, it will rapidly attack, and you can steer it with your directional keys. Now, as you're doing this, it will deplete your dark side, and which in the gauge there is purple, and you'll be overcome with light again. Now, at the beginning, you can choose either light or dark, so you'll choose whichever one you want to be your base. So, say if you chose dark, like I chose light, but say you chose dark, then your light skills would be the ones that expire, if that makes sense to you. So, basically, each side has its perks, and both sides will get the skill that everybody loves, the hurricane-like beam that shoots in different directions based on where you are, and yeah, both sides will gain that ability. Just like each side will get the skill, the color you choose is just really dependent on what side, like how much of each skill you want to use. And as I said, spectral light is controllable beams of light you can fire in any direction using your directional keys. That can be done by both. So anyways, today we're focusing mostly on 2nd job skills, playing in the background there, but I'd like to just go over any information that you guys might need on Luminous, because everybody wants a head start on the class they're going to make, right? Anyways, so the main attack you're going to be using for 2nd job is called Sylvan Lance. Now basically it will spawn a mirror above your head and shoot down arrows to 4 different monsters. I believe it's 4, and it'll hit them 3 or 4 times. So this is a main mobbing skill you'll use straight to level 60, which is now 3rd job. Anyways, so yeah, and aside from that, you'll get Pressure Void, as I talked about. Blinding Pillar will knock back enemies on both sides of you away from you. Now this is good in case, you know, you're running out of pots or you're about to die. Hit that key and it'll throw all the monsters away from you, wherever they are. Even if they're right on top of you, it'll throw them away from you. And they'll also have a chance to stun the monsters. And aside from those skills, you get Blessing Black, which is pretty much like meditation. It'll increase your magic attack, depending on the level you get it, by accumulating the white or dark orbs, depending on what kind of luminous you are, that you will see behind circling around. Aside from that, you have Magic Booster, Spell Mastery, and High Wisdom. And those are standard luminous and standard with magicians. So as you guys know, Luminous is now the last hero, and he's a magician, joining Evan as the two magician heroes, and they're not classified under resistance or any other type. They're Luminous are classified as heroes, along with the adventurers and such. Or sorry, not the adventurers, but the other classes. Anyways, moving on to third job skills. Spectral Light, as I mentioned. You have Ray of Redemption, which is a very nice skill. It will heal any of your party members around you and deal damage to any enemies around you. So it'll attack all the enemies around you and heal your party members. Now later on, you can actually upgrade this skill as a fourth job skill, and it will heal all of your party members. It'll heal 100% of all your party members' HP. So it's very useful. You know, every magician loves heal, right? Anyways, so the next skill is called Moonlight Spear. It fires a chain of dark moonlight from under the enemy's feet. So basically it's just like Demon Slayers. They have their giant yellow skill and those hands come up. It's basically the same sort of thing. Some spears will come up from the ground and it'll jab into the monsters and deal a certain amount of enemy damage. And I believe it attacks 6 enemies. And you also have Death Scythe, and it can only be used when your light and dark are equal. So when your dark is halfway in that range, you can use your Dark Scythe because it takes a combination of light and dark. And it's pretty much like a full map attack, and almost it will rain down chains and attack any surrounding enemies. Alrighty, so now we have Lunar Tide, which increases either critical rate, attack, or HP and MP, depending on, I guess it would be light or dark. I don't have any knowledge of to what that does, but you also have Photic Meditation is what it's called. It's active, so you have to buff it, but it temporarily increases the magic attack of the party, and it does stack with meditation. So I'm guessing it'll be plus 30, so you could get around plus 60 magic attack buff just from those two skills. And this too is a third job skill. And you also have Dusk Guard, which is another buff that will temporarily increase the physical and magical defense and has a chance to ignore damage taken by monsters. And that concludes the third job. So let's quickly go over the fourth job skills here. So basically the first one you have, this can only be used when you have light magic in effect, and it's called Reflection. And it will emit a powerful arrow of light that splits and hits enemies to deal damage to 6 surrounding enemies. And let's go over the light magic ones first. Okay. So there's one called Armageddon. I'm sure everybody heard that. It takes the effect of a past Demon Slayer skill, but immobilizes enemies and blasts them with a magic power. So it requires a cooldown regardless of the current status. So where your dark and light are, it doesn't matter, it will require a cooldown. And now for the dark magic skills, you have one called Morning Star, which drops explosive meteors on enemies, so another FMA. And that means you can use different ones, so it's almost like you can spam them, you can just use different FMAs. Though I should assume the third job one isn't as flashy, but the damage should be pretty good. Another dark magic is called Apocalypse. Opens an abyssal rift, not sure what that is, under enemies to flood them with void energy. Okay, so this one, basically what it'll do, it's gonna open up a giant cylinder almost, a giant tornado of dark energy, and it'll deal constant damage at a high percent attack. So this one, I believe you can kind of spam. Like, you could probably hold it for 5 or 6 seconds and then you'll have to let it go and do it again. But it does deal quite a bit of damage. Arcane Pitch is PDF and crit rate increase. You know, always good to have one of those skills. And Dark Crescendo has a chance to increase damage with other consecutive hits. So it's active, you buff it, and when you attack, it'll add on extra damage at a certain percent rate. And your Mastery comes in 4th job, which will increase the Magic Mastery and Magic Attack. And aside from that, you just have Hero's Will and Maple Warrior, and Darkness Mastery, which is more Mastery and more Magic Attack. So no Mastery comes till 4th job, but when you do get your Mastery, it's quite a bit. Anyways, that concludes today's episode of DMP Luminous. I hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to another episode coming up in the next few days here.